There comes a moment in life when the noise becomes too much, when the conversations feel empty, when the constant need for attention begins to exhaust you. And in that moment, you start listening to yourself for the first time. This is the story of a man who learned something most people spend their entire lives avoiding. He learned how to be alone, and surprisingly, it changed everything.
For years, he chased people. He chased friendships. He chased approval. He chased validation. He believed that happiness would arrive the moment someone finally understood him, the moment someone finally stayed, the moment someone finally chose him. But no matter how many people surrounded him, something still felt missing. There was always an emptiness he could not explain, an emptiness that followed him everywhere, even in crowded rooms, even during laughter, even during success. Because some forms of loneliness have nothing to do with being alone. They come from being disconnected from yourself. As time passed, people began to leave. Some left quietly. Some left suddenly. Some promised they would stay forever and disappeared without explanation. At first, he took it personally. He questioned his worth. He wondered what he had done wrong. He replayed old conversations in his mind again and again and again, looking for answers. But answers never came, only silence. The silence was difficult, especially at night, when distractions disappeared, when there was no one to text, no one to call, no one to impress, just him and his thoughts. Those nights felt endless, but slowly, something unexpected happened. The silence stopped feeling like punishment and started feeling like space. Space to think, space to breathe, space to heal.
So he began spending more time alone, not because he wanted to, but because life gave him no other choice. He started taking long walks without music, without notifications, without distractions. At first, it felt uncomfortable. His mind was noisy. His thoughts were restless. But day after day, the noise became quieter. And for the first time, he noticed things he had been missing. The sound of the wind, the beauty of ordinary moments, the peace that exists when nobody expects anything from you.
Then, one day, he realized something important. Most people are temporary, not because they are bad, not because they don't care, but because every person is on their own journey. Some people arrive to teach a lesson. Some arrive to bring joy. Some arrive to help us grow. And some leave so we can learn how strong we really are. When he understood this, he stopped trying to hold on to everyone. He stopped forcing conversations. He stopped chasing attention. He stopped explaining himself to people who had already misunderstood him.
And with everything he stopped chasing, he felt lighter, calmer, freer. He discovered that peace often arrives when pursuit ends. The world teaches us to fear being alone. But being alone is not always a tragedy. Sometimes it is a gift. Because when nobody is telling you who to be, you finally discover who you are. When nobody is watching, you find your true character. When nobody is validating you, you learn to value yourself. Over time, he became comfortable with his own company. He learned to enjoy quiet mornings, slow evenings, peaceful walks, simple moments. Things that once felt boring now felt meaningful, because happiness was no longer dependent on other people. It came from within, and that changed everything. Because people who are comfortable alone make different decisions. They stay away from unnecessary drama. They protect their energy. They choose quality over quantity. They stop begging for attention, and they stop settling for relationships that cost them their peace. One day, he looked back at the person he used to be, the person who feared loneliness, the person who needed constant approval, the person who believed happiness lived somewhere outside himself. And he smiled, because now he understood the truth. The thing he feared most had become his greatest teacher. If you are walking through a lonely season right now, remember this: not every empty space is meant to be filled. Some spaces are meant to help you grow. Some chapters are meant to be walked alone, not to break you, but to reveal your strength, not to punish you, but to help you discover yourself. And maybe, just maybe, the peace you are searching for is waiting on the other side of solitude. Thank you for listening, and remember, being alone is not the same as being lost.